You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are Rope Break. And family, how's every single one of you today? It's time to talk about the Blue Brand, the show before the draft. And Smackdown was actually, like you said, Sami Zayn saved the show for me. Sami Zayn made it not such a big load of crap. It was actually a little bit enjoyable. There were a lot of things that I really liked, and we're going to be talking about everything. But Sami Zayn had a title defense. That was good. I liked it. In the end, he ended up retaining the championship. That was really good. Sasha Banks gave an announcement. The Fiend Jean-Paul was in the show, so that's cool. And we got of course the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. That's the part. 5 seconds in, I'm done. Addressing Jey Uso. It seems like we're gonna have more of this feud all the way to Hell in a Cell. So we're gonna be talking about everything. So how do you feel about this show? Big load?
Yeah,
load,
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's the great liberator, and he liberates us from the Friday night bullshit.
Yes.
But the Intercontinental Championship match. It didn't make any sense to have this match. I know they said he used the handcuffs on the ladder in the ear, but it's so what? Anything goes in those matches, but we got a great match. So it's okay. And the Intercontinental Championship recently with AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, now Sami Zayn, it's getting to the point where it's starting to feel like a legit title again.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of a bullshit, who's the Intercontinental Champ? I don't remember, because these matches that they're putting on are really good. But, the Alexa Bliss stuff with the Fiend, I like. It was Kevin Owens, so it's okay, I don't really get that unless that's a sign he's coming to SmackDown. But, everything else is just kind of eh. The one thing I am excited for next week, too, is the Big E and
then Sheamus
and Bayley and Sasha. I'll get into that when we get to that segment.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have the match quite yet, but, there might be an announcement. But like you said, we'll get there when we get there. So thank you so very much for, checking us out. Don't forget our new house, right, Jean-Paul? Everything entertainment, the biggest and the best website, for, all the information that you guys like. Sports, music, everything right there. Premier League for me, for, the soccer fans, I pop for that. So, for Jean-Paul, there's, movies. Of course, we are there, so please, check that there, and, want to say hi to everybody over there. So Tim King, the guy that, brought us there, so thank you so very much, family. Don't forget to check, this is also on All Everything Entertainment right there, Jean-Paul. AEW Dynamite review, MJF teasing, am I going to join to the Inner Circle? I don't know, maybe, but I'm going to buy everybody, a jacket that has the Road Break symbol on it, so thank you, MJF, for promoting us. And also, Jean-Paul, NXT review right there with the predictions for what is going to be NXT Takeover on Sunday night, and power couple of NXT. Are we going to see this at Takeover, Jean-Paul?
Both times? Hope so.
I really hope so. Yeah. But one of your predictions wasn't the one. But we'll see what happens. We're going to be talking about all of that on Sunday. So Mr. Leek, let's talk about from the beginning of the show. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Of course, like I said to you, 5 seconds in, I'm already done.
Can Michael Cole not call him the big dog anymore?
Yeah, you said.
Can he just be oh, here comes the Tribal Chief? I hate nicknames like that because they have to shove them down your face, but don't call him his babyface nickname and then be here comes the big dog, the Tribal Chief. He tries to, he's just oh, he pops and then he goes, so.
He's still or what the hell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Paul Heyman was the one that started the promo, and he was saying that I'm a little nervous because I know this man and his whole family from the day that I was born, since the day that he was born, and we all knew that Roman was the chosen one to carry this belt and everything, and he says Roman is the undisputed champion, kind of a little bit Brock Lesnar, a little bit of that again, but then Roman takes the microphone, as you guys can see, and then he just says, I want to say something to my cousin Jay. And he calls him again in the ring, and this goes pretty much to saying, hey, I gave you this match because again, I want you to give you a good payday. I love you, but I had to kick your ass because you don't really acknowledge me as the Tribal Chief. But he goes if my brother would not throw the towel away, I will be the Universal Champion. Do you believe that, Jean-Paul?
No, and in Roman, I don't know if he was. I believe with Jey Uso, I like his intensity here because Roman, I think he was just practicing for the next, time he leaves for Hollywood. I think he was practicing his acting. He goes, you broke my heart. And I'm like, really?
Right there.
When he said that, and then,
yeah,
he's like, you broke my heart. I'm like, why? Because he didn't say you're the tribal chief? Like, are you kidding me? And then Jay the whole time is just staring a hole through this title, and he's like, is the title the only thing you care about? You can't even look me in the face. And he's like, what? You want another shot? You want Hell in a Cell? All right, Hell in a Cell it is. But this is going to be the greatest stipulations in WWE history or whatever.
The highest stakes in the match.
Yeah, and then,
imagine the WWE history.
Don't you just love how he can book whatever he wants? He can be like, oh, you want a rematch? You want Hell in a Cell? Okay.
And so then
I guess you're getting Hell in a Cell.
Thank you, Jean Paul, because there's people out there, and I'm not calling anybody out, but there's people that actually love this, and I don't understand the why. I'm gonna keep calling them out. If this is the beginning of the war, so be it. But, like you said, he comes in, he books whatever he wants. In the end of the day, he says, Jean Paul, oh, it was the worst day of my life on the Clash of Champions because I had to find my family. And like you said, oh, the stakes are going to be too big for, this match. I'm like, really? And they didn't even make the match official.
Well, so and they said it's like the craziest stipulation, or it's I forget what they said, the gravest stipulations, but we don't even know what it is because they probably don't even know what it is. That's the thing. Exactly. They're trying to make you seem intrigued in a rematch that you and I both know Roman isn't gonna lose. And this is the only defense I will give to this, and what I said to you right before we started recording. If Roman is gonna be unbeatable and he's just gonna run through everybody, I'd rather have him be heel than be babyface. But why does he need Paul Heyman? That's like having him. It's like, oh, he's babyface. Heel, but he's bullshit. It's like, why can't he just be legit heel by himself?
Yes, again, and he said, he said this kind of thing. He's like, Jay, I love you more than your brother does. I just want to simply help you. I want you to get a good paycheck, and, I want you to be in the main event. It's like, but that day, you shame our family, and, and also you broke my heart. So, I don't, again, I'm not a big fan of this storyline. I guess, like you said, they keep, they keep writing this as they go, as the weeks go by. They don't have the whole plan lined out or laid out, so I don't like that. And
I think that, the only I thought that this would just be over, or then he would feud with maybe Jimmy. But I think they're stretching this maybe because they're really pulling for the big rumor of The Rock. Maybe they're really going to do the whole family storyline thing.
If you think about it, that's not everybody's just because they're saying they're calling the whole lineage of the family, Rikishi, Alpha, Sika, everybody else, like Umaga and the whole Yokozuna, your boy Yokozuna, you love him, I know that. So they're calling.
Now, see, if they want to bring all them out, maybe who's Jimmy and Jay's father? Is that Rikishi?
Rikishi.
Yeah, they should bring Rikishi out and have Roman spear him, or Roman should throw him off the Hell in a Cell again.
Oh yeah, like Taker, yeah. No, they should bring Rikishi and Scotty to Hattie, and then Rikishi does the sting face to Roman. See that then you get me to pop, and then I enjoy this. That's how you get me to enjoy.
But do you know how you get us to not pop? After Roman goes away, and we got Jey Uso standing there in the ring, so who calls him out?
Yeah,
AJ Styles comes out of nowhere.
AJ Styles out of nowhere, a guy that don't even fit in this storyline. I don't know why was he a part of this.
He just comes out and he's calling him out because he's like, oh yeah, I don't know why, you want to go after Roman again? Didn't you learn your lesson? Why don't you just sacrifice a goat or collect some chicken bones or something? So he's making fun of the whole tribal thing, and it's like he's getting some heel heat. But I couldn't even pay attention. I couldn't even care because as soon as AJ came out, they already booked the match for Hell in a Cell. What are you gonna have to do? Jey Uso lose here going into Hell in a Cell? He'd look like an idiot. So of course they're gonna have him go over AJ. And Michael Cole said it not even 30 seconds into this match on commentary. He's like, "Oh, a win for Jey Uso here would really make him look good going into Hell in a Cell." Okay, Michael Cole, you just revealed the whole booking plans for this match.
Exactly.
So now I don't have to watch it.
And Jean Paul, what did you say that happened? Oh, he won.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay. AJ Styles made him look good. AJ Styles is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, main roster guy. But so when he loses, it's not like, oh, I hate him now, like, oh, he sucks. But what does that do for Jey Uso if Jey Uso is just gonna lose?
Yeah, okay. Time after the match, I don't know if you picked up on that, but he was saying oh yeah, I got this. I can beat him. And he kept saying to himself, "It's like we can beat him because." He gets the win over AJ Styles, so it's like, okay, let's say AJ Styles is as good as Roman, he can beat Roman. So that was like the whole thing in Jay's head is like, oh, I can beat him. I can beat him. I can beat him.
But watch him,
like,
I wouldn't be surprised if he beats somebody like Jeff Hardy or something next week. They'll just have him beat like everybody legit.
Well, like we've said this before. They always sacrifice everybody to Roman, right? Everything like the Roman agenda. I don't care what people think. And once again, he's look face heel is the same agenda. It's just the same thing, Same thing.
It is.
The one thing, Jean Paul, that is not bad and is actually saving the show is the guy on your left, Fidel Castro, right there. Yeah, that's right.
With the great liberator.
The Liberator, yep. Yeah, I like that. The great Liberator. He liberated Cuba, that's kind of like a controversial statement, but at least in SmackDown, he's actually liberating people. And he did say, he's like, hey, they make me defend the title against Jeff Hardy. That's completely bad. But, like, I don't really resent WWE management. I resent every single one of you because you're the guys that are going along with this. You didn't acknowledge me as the Intercontinental Champion. You guys embraced the tournament with, like, AJ Styles won, and then you embraced Jeff Hardy. So, screw you guys, and I was able to prove that I won the championship, and then he did this beautiful thing. I mean, I didn't want him to throw the other title because I love, like, two titles like that, but see, when they look the same and all of that. But, like, he did this, but, like, extremely great promo. Now, you said, you put it in one of the texts that you sent me, it's like, he's the one that is saving SmackDown, and I absolutely agree with this.
Oh yeah, since he came back, it's like a ray of sunshine. It's like, it's because we just say SmackDown is just such bullshit, and then it's just he comes in and it's like, it's a saving grace. It's legit promo. I love it's like, oh, Alundra Blaze 2.0, like screw this title, like in the trash. But I mean, I like that just because the two belts thing did look legit, but it's like, screw you, screw Jeff Hardy. And the fact that, spoiler alert, he won in the main event, I think it just solidifies him even more.
Oh, so, yeah, and then that's the thing. He needed that kind of win. He needed it. And, another thing that you and me mentioned is he's finally coming back as an active wrestler. He's not running away from the ring. He's not being bullshit. No heel tactics. He's like, okay, be El Generico without the mask. Okay, I'll be El Generico, and I love it. I just love it because I was never a big fan of Sami Zayn, but at least now he's getting an opportunity to showcase himself in both roles. And, as promo and as an active wrestler.
Oh, and he's one of those guys, too. If they would have brought him back as a baby, if they could have brought him back as El Generico, as a babyface, and he'd be just as good. He's one of those guys who can be a babyface if you watch his stuff in NXT or a heel right now, and he can be great at both.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I agree with you. Like, so that was like the, that was for me. Okay. Yeah. I was dying, but then legit, liberation. So let's go talking about liberation, and somebody that's going to go to a trial is our boy. Oh yeah. He's got like a thing saying that he's going to represent himself, in the trial. So everybody's like, really? Even Michael Cole is like, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. But like, he just mentioned that, and he had a match with John Morrison, Jean Paul, that lasted like 3 seconds. And,
this is like poor
John Morrison. Poor Morrison, dude. Like, why? I
don't understand why. Like this just can't be the Miz. Like the Miz has the hot wife. He hosts that game show. He has his own show. Like he can afford to lose. Like Morrison is like, yeah, I can't. He even said, oh, I went all over the world. I was an Impact. I was champ. I did all this stuff. But I wanted to come back to WWE, and this is where I wanted to have my last big run and retire. This is what you wanted to come back for?
Yeah, like you said, like
Taya was probably like, I'll sign with NXT, and then she sees what they were doing with him, and is like, Impact is good. I'll stay here.
I can still do the road to Valhalla, and then be like somebody legit on Impact. But like you said, like this match was like pretty simple extremely to the quickest point. He did the caterpillar, and then he did a splash, and then end that.
Yep. This was
Poor Morrison.
The one thing I just want to say on commentary that it was like funny, but it was like stupid, is Corey Graves is just making fun of Otis, and then Michael Cole goes, well, wasn't he on your podcast after the bell? And he's like, well, yeah, but, and I'm like, oh, okay, so, like, you were probably faced with him on your podcast, like, but, now you're trying to keep being kayfabe.
But then you're bullshit, you know what I mean? Then you just act like a dumbass right now. That's why people don't like Corey Graves, and I don't. They're the worst commentary team, in professional wrestling right now. Corey Graves and Michael.
By far, they are the worst. They're worse than Monday Night Raw.
I rather, like you said, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna start actually listening in Spanish, just because I can at least get behind those two guys. But like, this is just bad. So Jean Paul, let's go to the next segment. That's like our boy Big E. That's not our boy, but or Will Hutz.
Will Hobbs, Will Power.
Yeah, Will Power right there, or like Kid Lee 2.0 or something. And he was just had like a promo saying that the rivalry with Sheamus is still on because we're gonna get what, Jean Paul? Sheamus against Shorty G. Haven't we seen that enough? Haven't we seen this like more than multiple times?
Like you said, is this Royal Rumble? It's like, what's
Royal Rumble? Yeah.
I mean, hey, if I get to see Drew win again, then that's legit.
Yeah, but he just pretty
and
much.
And there's crowd. Edge returns. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that was At least that was but at least before that was what we had. But like you said, they said, well, he mentions that the draft is next week, so who knows where like he or Sheamus might end up there. Going. So like he said, well, we need to have a match right away. Right away. We need this. We need to settle this. Really quick. So, like, what about if we do a Jean Paul in a Falls Count Anywhere match? So, like, it's going to be happening next week. Yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think that'll be good. If you actually look at the card next week, there's this, and then we'll get to, the women's title, but there's actually pretty many big matches on a draft show. Usually, I feel the draft show has just, like, bullshit matches, like, nobody cares about, maybe a tag team championship match or something, but no, there's actually going to be some big matches, and I think this will be good. As long as Big E shows the intensity he showed the past couple weeks with this Sheamus feud, and he's not like pouring like maple syrup on him and stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's true. And no, it will be good. I really like that. But this I didn't like because it was another 3 seconds. Poor Shorty tried to do a German suplex, and that's all it was. And then 2 bro kicks, and done. And and also like you mentioned, you and I have said this before in the past. We've said like Sheamus had those great promos, like dim lights. You can only see like the red hair and all of that. Oh, I'm coming back to like bring the legitness to SmackDown. Bring back like the legitimacy. Bring back like all those cool memories that people had. The values for the SmackDown had. And now to start with Shorty G.
Well, this is what I would honestly have him. Okay, he's going to lose here, like, to Big E. And because Big E's going to stay on SmackDown, I think. You put Sheamus on Monday Night Raw. You can either do Sheamus versus, let's say, Randy Orton wins. And then, but that's going to go to Hell in a Cell. So that'll go on for a little bit. But, I mean, hey, maybe he could go after Randy Orton. Or if he goes to Monday Night Raw right away, I see the Hurt Business staying on Raw because they're after Retribution. You could do Sheamus versus Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah,
but I don't. But if Sheamus to me is he's done on SmackDown, unless they completely really like shake up the landscape on SmackDown. There's nothing for him. That's why he's like feuding with just nobody for nothing. He had the thing with Jeff Hardy, and then it was like so.
And it was like so. I don't understand like why they do those things. But like you just said, like hopefully like they do something different when it comes to this situation because Sheamus deserves a lot better. I just can tell you that Sheamus deserves a lot better when it comes to like he's coming back. He looks good, like he looks like really great. And the only thing kind of like that was cool, it was the thing with Jeff Hardy. But Jean Paul, let's move on to like KO show. And Kevin Owens was on SmackDown for a change, and he was interviewing
the brand to brand invitational.
Yes, and he was just like he was gonna interview Alexa Bliss. And really, Kevin Owens goes to the point, so I like that. It's like what the hell is wrong?
The one thing, can he wear like his own merch shirt?
Yeah.
Can he wear like his own shirt that says like Kevin Owens on it? But hey, whatever. Yeah,
it's like they don't sell enough of like they don't sell enough merch from like the Street Profits that.
That's probably what it is. They probably thought the Street Profits were really cool, and then like nobody bought their shit, so it's like so.
Maybe that's what it is, but like I just like like I see Alexa, what's the deal? And it's like so like he at first she denies it, right? Jean Paul, she's like, well, I'm good, I haven't changed, everything's legit, but then it's like, well, no, really, you have changed, we know you from like 5 years ago when you were in the Performance Center, you were like all like happy, like more cheery, and you got everybody to laugh, and now you're like so so like she goes, well, then she kind of got in the trance. One more time, and she's like, well, when you look at the Fiend, like he numbs you. When he looks at you, he can see right through you. You're just a different person. So she really took off. Like I really like the acting that she did.
Oh yeah,
very convincing.
I agree, and I like when Kevin Owens goes, "You're brainwashed," and she's like, "Yes, I am. My brain is washed clean of all the lies and from all of you and this stuff." I mean, it's really good. Like you said, if the Fiend does a cult. and he gets hurt. I would love to see Nikki Cross. You know, they talks of bringing Eric Rowan back. It's like, oh, really, Eric Rowan? But it's like, hey, what else are you going to do? He's a big guy. He has history with Bray Wyatt. You know, at least he's getting paid. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
I mean,
let him get paid.
Yeah, and I mean, you can, and with the draft, there's new possibilities. I mean, brother Bo Dallas might be the motorcycle guy in NXT, but if not, you could do that with the Fiend. I mean, a Colt would be cool, but we'll see. If it's just him and Alexa Bliss, I'm fine with that, because so far that's what it is, because Kevin Owens, you know, pretty much we heard the music, there was the Fiend.
Well, like, you know, what it was like, but, you know, how, like, you know, that he's here and everything, so he goes, Alexis, well, you just gotta let him in. And
yeah, that's right. Then he's like free. I think the timing was off, because she's like, let him in, and then it was like a couple seconds, and then the music hit.
Yeah, then you know, let him in, and then she's like, oh my, and then of course you get the squeaky sound, and then you know, like like poor Kevin Owens, the first Aleister Black.
I would have put the Mandible. He beat Aleister Black.
Yeah, but you know, like Aleister Black, like he's feuding, and then now he gets this. It's like,
well, I would have put the Mandible Claw on him too for not wearing his own T-shirt.
Well, that's true though. Yeah, like he's like, can you wear your own stuff at least? So like he did that, and like you said, like he's just pretty much done. And then Alexa, like she has that look with the Fiend, and they end up like looking at each other, you know, and then actually like I think they kind of did a fist bump, right? Like
no, I think he was holding her hand.
They held hands, okay. I mean, with COVID, you never know, you know. Like I even know our own president has it. I don't know. This situation is just like way too much for a road break, Jean Paul. But like, yeah, this was like a good thing. And like you said, there's a cult. I would love that. Like you said, get more people like Nikki. Like you said, if they can get like a big thing, that's how you will get like a bigger reaction from the Fiend. Can, you know, and for example, can they do that something like that with Retribution? You know, like, see, the one thing is like maybe a few writers are good when it comes to like storytelling, and others are just like with McMahon.
Well, the
like,
thing is with Bray is he has some input on the Fiend storyline. Like he kind of presents, this is what I want to do, and then they probably tweak it and go, well, hey, how about this? How about that? And then he might be like, well, how about this? So some of the input has to be from him. That's why like all his stuff he's been involved in has been legit. Now, of course, when Roman came back, they're like, "Oh, screw you, we're taking the title."
Well, yeah, it's like,
but I mean, yeah.
How did they finish up the match? Well, Roman's here.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the stuff with Braun, while it wasn't the best, at least he made the best of it, because Braun is a shitty wrestler, so he at least made the best of it.
No, yeah, no, it was like that, and like you said, it's just like it's a lot better for me when it comes to that. I'm more excited, like, because of like all these situations with the Colt, Alexa, maybe like you said, Nikki, making more people like around him and like bigger names, you know, to have like be around the Fiend. That would be really cool. So like this is a good segment also, like, and it's not because Alexa's involved. It's just like I said, it's like it's more compelling rather than, you know, Tribal Chief or Lineage, Rock. At least, you know, we keep digging in the wound, but we will keep doing. At least on my end, I'll keep doing it. So Jean Paul, let's go to like our guys, or like the Lucha House Party. They're still having issues. Now we got to see Matt Riddle, because he's gonna be teaming up with like them, with Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik. And you know, these guys, they had a match against Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and King Corbin. You know, this match was actually not bad, but like they had a promo beforehand, like they were like, oh, like how you guys feel about having this match, and like Matt Riddle is like, next week is like the draft, so I don't know if I'm going to stay here or I'm going to go to Raw, but like I don't want to miss the opportunity to be with my bros. And he's like, what about Kalisto? And like, and Lince Dorado goes, oh, Mike, I think he's putting the mask on or something like that. Remember that, Jean Paul? Like, it's like they making fun of him. But what do you think about this whole match? I really liked it.
Oh, I mean, the whole match, you know, when you first, you're like, what is Matt Riddle doing with them? It's like, is he done? Why isn't he in a prominent role? And then I, you know, got to remember, hey, you know, what was I saying for Monday Night Raw? You know, it's the same thing. You know, it's the draft's coming up, so they're just kind of like, hey, here are the big names, here are the guys, they're on TV, you know, whatever. None of this stuff, they're an autopilot. None of this means anything until the draft, besides the major storylines like the Tribal Chief, the Fiend, you know, shit like that. So, I mean, but all things considered, though, this was good. I mean, the babyfaces going over was good. I was scared, you know, Corbin was going to pin Riddle again, or there was going to be some bullshit.
That would have been bad. That would have been really bad. That would have been really bad. And like we also like got to see Kalisto coming. I was like, what the hell? You know, what the hell? Like, you guys don't want to wait for me?
He's like, did you guys subscribe to Rope Break, or what are you doing?
Oh, that's Kalisto saying right there. You guys subscribe to Rope Break, like on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on like Twitter? Come on, what the hell? And see, he had an influence on the ending of the match because he did a Inzaguri onto Lince Dorado. But thankfully, like Matt Riddle was able to do the bro Derek, right? And then that was it. And then he
Yeah, I think he hit the. I think he hit the Broton.
No, he Broton, and then he did bro Derek, and then done. But like you see, there's still like there's dissension between the Lince Dorado and Kalisto. They still are going at it, and of course commentary. Oh well, that like they're fighting, right? And like really, like we know. It's like that like there's been like they're not getting along. I'm like really.
I mean, it's like Rope Break only has been covering this since you guys came to Fox.
Yes. So like absolutely like terrible. So let's go, Jean Paul. Finally, the person that the mystery woman was revealed, and yeah, we were right. We got to see Carmella. Carmella is the one, and I don't know Jean Paul, but like with that kind of hairstyle, I'm not behind this anymore. I thought it was Tessa Blanchard, but no, I thought it was somebody different. But look, that hairstyle is called the ass. Or the butt, because the crack is in the middle, and then you see two chunks of hair to the side.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw her look, and I mean, no offense to her, because I think when you take off all that makeup and whatever, she looks pretty good, but it looks like she should be in a movie that I have to pay to see. That's all I'm gonna say. But I mean, I don't understand what it, like the whole gimmick. I like the promo she cut though.
Oh yeah,
how she was like, I'm
not the princess anymore, Jean Paul.
Yeah.
I'm not the princess anymore, and I'm gonna be heel. And like if you thought that like you got the best of me right now, just get ready because I'm legit, and this time I will be untouchable. Right there.
Now this is what I would have her get drafted to Monday Night Raw and go against Asuka, unless you're gonna do. I mean, I'll just say here, unless you're going to do the Bayley beat Sasha next week, and then we don't see then you write Sasha off TV for a while, and then this would be the next feud, Bayley and Carmella.
Maybe that would be good, but we'll see. Like you said, where she ends up being, and she also finishes the promo saying that, you can touch me unless even when I want to, or something like that. She said along those lines. She said like, yeah, I'll be touchable.
No, she said yeah, and I'm untouchable unless I don't want you, or something like unless I want you to.
I want you to. Unless I want you to. There you go. That's like so. I mean, like you said, Carmella has always been a good heel. And now at least she's a more believable wrestler, so I do like that. Like I love the super kick. She does like 3 or 4 moves that like she's good. So I don't hate on this. I'm just saying like the look was not that good. And I mean, unfortunately, social media, the internet, all of that, the dirt sheets and all of that, they reveal stuff really quickly. So it's kind of like really easy to guess who the person was going to be. So I mean, like you said, if she ends up being on Raw, I mean, both brands need like just to be one whole women's division rather than 2 separate ones because they don't use some of the women. I mean, I'm not saying they should, they should use everybody, but if you have 2 divisions, you kind of don't have any other choice, right?
No. If you want to have 2 separate divisions, you got to use people. You got to have storylines and use people like the Dana Brooks and the Taminas. I'm not saying that you got to push them, but they got to be the ones who maybe lose more times, but at least they're on TV.
Like, Lacey, have Naomi's out of an injury, so like, for the ones that didn't know that, she's out on injury. Not in a real injury. She got surgery because she had like a procedure done to her. Like, we wish her well. We have speedy recovery. But other than that, like they should use all of them.
And you even have Catalina who was on. Who was on NXT, but she was on Raw.
In the Battle Royal.
She was on Monday Night Raw. With who was it? Sin Cara, those mixed tags. So
Sin Cara, like she was right there. So use everybody. Give them an opportunity. So now Jean Paul, let's go with people that want an opportunity. Is our girl Sasha Banks. Because she was going to deliver a message. So what was going to be Bayley, and she came out with like the neck brace and all of that, and then she took it off. So that was really cool. And like the promo that she cut was like extremely, extremely well put together. And there, Sasha's delivery is really good. This girl is like absolutely amazing when she wants to be like the bitch, like, you want to get revenge out of Bayley. So this was really good. What she says, Bayley, you're nothing more than a coward that always needed me to keep your championship. You used me to achieve everything, and because of me, you're the longest SmackDown champion of all time. I know that you're not here today because you're scared, but next week, I'll be facing you for the thing that you love the most, and that is going to be, the SmackDown championship, and you don't have an opportunity against me, bitch. So, of course, absolutely legit. What do you think, Jean Paul?
Oh, I love this promo. Now I still think I'm still have my fingers crossed. They're gonna do what I hope, and
You have
that's
your
that
knees crossed,
Bayley
yeah.
wins next week and really beats the shit out of Sasha, and then they sell the injury. Maybe she even goes undrafted. It's like, oh, nobody's gonna draft her because she's injured. You know, nobody wants to have an injured superstar on their roster, and then we don't see her till the Royal Rumble because that's not too long away. That's only like what 3 months away. That's not that
2 months,
long.
three, three
But
and a
I mean,
half.
we'll see. I'm looking forward to this match next week. The intensity of the promo was good. Everything she said, it was true. She also she put Bayley over, but she also called her a bitch. She's like, yeah, you are the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, but that's
Because
only
of
because I
me.
helped you. Yeah, and
Because of me.
so I
Yeah.
mean, it was good. And like you said, the delivery. The best part about it is when she like took off the neck brace and she's like, bitch.
Yeah.
And when she took that off, she's like, I don't care if my neck is fucked up. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, so like that was really good. So like you said, it's gonna be it's gonna be a really cool show next week. So like we're gonna have, like we said, the Fiend is gonna be fighting Kevin Owens. So that's whoa, because normally the Fiend doesn't fight on like SmackDown, but you can tell, like you
I
said,
thought
it's
the
gonna be a
I thought you could only you do that like every so often, or it was like only four of them. Like a
yeah,
yeah,
well, how WWE is when it comes to rules. It's like one week.
They're like Jean Paul. Come on, come on, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let us go. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So like exactly. So and then we're gonna have the Falls Count Anywhere match between Big E and Sheamus. So good stuff. I mean, it's gonna be an interesting draft. So viewership is gonna go up because everybody's just gonna be curious about what happens in the draft, because it's gonna be first time ever Jean Paul is gonna start on SmackDown, and that normally is always on Raw.
No, they started it on SmackDown last year.
They did? Okay, well,
Yeah.
there you go. Thanks for, ruining the whole thing, Done. So good stuff, but, at least it's, different, and I like that. So, Jean Paul, let's go to the main event. Jeff Hardy against Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship, and this match was very good. Again, Jeff Hardy was able to get Sami to a good match, and, of course, Sami finally being a wrestler. So I really like this, and they gave them time, because it was, 15 minutes, around 18, that was really good. I liked it. Jeff Hardy almost wins the championship again. But Sami was able to do some heel tactics, and he keeps the championship. Jean Paul, what do you say?
Oh yeah, this was really good. I love Sami hit all his legit offense. I love how he doesn't really change up his game plan whether he's face or heel too much, because I still pop for all the moves like the Blue Thunder Bomb, the Haluva Kick, all that stuff. I mean, the only thing I don't like is how he had to win. Like, he couldn't hit the Blue Thunder Bomb, the Haluva Kick, or vice versa, then pin 1, 2, 3. It had to be like a cheap victory.
Had to be heel.
But I mean, that's exactly it. He had to win heel, and it's like, I guess I get that, because you're gonna have Jeff Hardy looking strong, whether he goes to Monday Night Raw or whether he stays on SmackDown or does whatever. Because this is probably, it's like, okay, his last shot. But I would say the best thing for him to move on, maybe go against the Fiend, but they're doing this Kevin Owens thing, so it's like, okay, maybe Roman. Well, Roman's, he's locked up with family until WrestleMania, so who knows?
Roman is locked up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't even think that Jeff Hardy, like you said, maybe Jeff Hardy stays on SmackDown, because there's a reason to watch SmackDown. I don't, like Monday Night Raw to me.
Oh yeah,
I don't want him to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really depends how they shake everything up. But like you said, this match they gave it a lot of time. And I didn't even think this was going to be the main event. I'm like, we're probably going to see Roman and, Paul Heyman, the last 5 minutes of this match. And it kept going. And I'm like, this must really be the main event. So that's why I said these past three or so champions have really been making the Intercontinental Championship feel legit. So I'm like, that's badass. And the fact that, this match, it was pointless. Because it's like, why is he defending it against the guy who he just beat in a triple threat on Sunday? But it was a hell of a match, so he can't complain about it.
Yeah, no, it was good. Like you said, like a swanton bomb, and then Sami Zayn pulled his legs up. So Jeff Hardy hit the back of his head with that, and then Sami Zayn at some point in the match had exposed it to one of the turnbuckles. Like Kaylee, yay, boom, and then that's when Jeff Hardy ended up hitting, and then Sami Zayn just spin him, like you guys see right there, 1, 2, 3, and this is the picture that Jean Paul is gonna pop for. Yep, that was. Fidel holding the IC Championship, and that is the picture that takes us to the end of the show. So overall, I will give him, a pretty solid 6. So it's just to hey guys, the effort is noticed. If you take away the first 15 minutes with Roman, I would have been fine. You know, like, well, ooze, we get to see ooze. Even Roman goes with ooze. You know, like, you said that. He's like, oh, everything ooze. I'm gonna shit ooze. I'm gonna pee ooze. Ooze, 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 ooze. You know, like, come on. It's like, do you have a like speech impediment? Is that what it is? Is that what you call it? You just gotta say ooze the whole time. So I just don't understand why that is even a thing. And I mean, again, I'm not behind that. I'm sorry. There's
You
no way
should
you
go
can
to
get
work. It's like, where are you going? I gotta get more sizzlies, Oos.
ooze. Yeah, no, well, I'm gonna go, what's up, oozes? What's up, oozes? Good morning, oozes. Yeah, yeah, and because according to them, everybody understands what like ooze means. So like,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna try it tomorrow. So we'll see. So if you guys want to find out, 7-3 for every single one of you, just go check it out. So Jean Paul pretty much that summarizes, the
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown before the draft. Like I said, hopefully, like next week is a little better. We get a lot of people like change for shows. We're not really sure if like NXT is gonna be involved into this, but we know that like Triple H is already kind of like, so they're gonna take my guys.
Well,
So
like
we'll
I
see.
said, Io Shirai, my thing is she's losing and she's gonna get drafted. I could
Oh
see
yeah,
her being like one of the first women to get drafted.
oh yeah, like you said, a lot of things that what's gonna happen with NXT, a lot of outcomes we're gonna notice with the results of like NXT Takeover, and you guys will know it from Robert because we're gonna be covering that. So Jean Paul, remind everybody where they can find us in the social media world, please.
Well, you can find us on Facebook under Rope Break, Twitter, the original or the OG Rope Break, Instagram, the original Rope Break, right here on YouTube for the best podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the original Rope Break, and of course, our new partnership, alleverythingentertainment.com.
And that's right. And we're going to be giving you even more content right there because Jean Paul and I are going to be like writing a little bit of our thoughts. So a lot of more stuff that like we don't really can say, during the videos, but like we're going to actually give you more like insight of what we have to say about a lot of the topics that are going to happen in professional wrestling. So Jean Paul, you and me have well, busy weekend one more time. Do we ever sleep? No. We have for you guys tomorrow Victory Road Impact. So like be there for us. Like we're going to be covering that. It's going to be a pretty fun pay-per-view. Impact is actually really good. It's on fire. Like it's what, like 6-7 years that like we actually got behind Impact. So that's good. And Sunday is going to be NXT Takeover. So busy weekend for the guys of Robrick. So Jean Paul, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is.
Uh,